Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mi Casa es Su Casa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow $1 campaign. We show the mainstream media that we do not need them, and that if we must, we will donate to our independent journalists who actually bring us the truth and reasonable analyses. Now, as you all probably heard the breaking news, Pence apparently tried to replace Donald Trump during the Pence supposedly tried to replace Donald Trump during the general presidential race. And the reason why, well, it was because of Donald Trump's quote-unquote locker room talk. It was referring to the comment, you can just grab them by the pussy, you know, when you're famous, they'll let you do that. And Pence apparently took exception to that. I mean, as anyone should, but let's be very clear about something. This is politics, and if Pence wanted Trump's spot, it's because he wanted to be the president. You don't just wake up one day and decide that, okay? Like, being president is not a joke, it's not a game. Even think about it. I mean, Joe Biden at first didn't want anything to do with the presidency, and he was vice president, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but I'll let you know a little bit how serious that job is. But it's usually, in this particular case, I don't think that Pence cared all that much, because if his convictions were as deep as he claims them to be, then he would have just dropped out and said, I cannot be, you know, I cannot be an accomplice to this assault on democracy, this assault on women, you know, because it really is. Words do matter. I'm not saying that, you know, words are the end all be all, but words do matter, in the way a president carries himself, hopefully in the future herself, does matter, because people look up to that person as an idol. So from that perspective, I do agree that his actions were reprehensible. In fact, Pence's wife even said the same thing in a magazine during the election. But spare me the crocodile tears, because I don't think you care that much, Pence, to be completely and totally honest with you. Now, with that being said, though, this does in fact demonstrate more proof of what we have seen and what I have said in the past, that it has always been the intent of the Republican Party to remove Trump. This, in fact, would have given them the only chance to ever have a true red-blooded conservative GOP Tea Party candidate in office, because Trump is just that popular. He brought a populist movement on the right, and Pence is boring. Now, I mean, to be quite honest, Pence is boring, and he was a horrible governor. His constituents hate him. So, by the way, you don't get rewarded for being a good governor in the Republican Party. Like, good or popular, you don't get rewarded for that. But here's where the issue comes in. This only came out, in my opinion, after you know, Trump has gotten through his first year, which is kind of crazy to think that it's already been a year. It came out after he already did his first year, after his popularity keeps kind of going up and down, and after Priebus actually told him that he would suffer a horrible loss to Hillary, and it turned out to be the complete and total opposite. He destroyed Hillary. They took a lot of seats in the House and in the Senate, and no matter where Trump's polled popularity is, he seems to continue to be victorious amongst the masses, at least in his demographic. So I think this is coming out to not necessarily to slam Trump, but to try and hurt the relationship between Trump and Pence, because I don't think Trump is going anywhere. But this will indeed, I think, galvanize Trump supporters, because a lot of Trump supporters don't like Pence. They don't like him. I don't think whatever the intent was, because this mostly came out in liberal media, left-wing mainstream media, And I think that it was supposed to put like a splinter in the relationship with Pence and Trump. But how often do you think Trump goes through Pence to get his decision approved? And the appointments are starting to even make more sense. Why he put corporatists that he knows, that he is friends with, that are related to him in some ways, in office and in his administration versus putting in politicians, because the Republican Party, a lot of the party heads tried to stop him from running. Which isn't really that surprising. You know, it's not. They expressed disdain for him during the primary and had to pretend like they loved him after. They even offered him $800 million to not run, to give up and let Trump take over. The final bit about this is that they were going to try to replace him with Condeelezza Rice, which I think is nonsense. And I think it's hypocritical, because I truly believe it was an identity politics move, which is, I'm not going to say unbecoming of the Republican Party, because the Republican Party actually started identity politics, but it's unbecoming of a party who currently always hyper-criticizes anyone who engages in any type of identity politics, any type, because I've always said identity politics is necessary, but too much identity politics is dangerous. As in, I understand how my identity affects the political arena and how I can affect it because of my identity. And that's important. But trying to base every decision based off of identity is dangerous. But I believe that the Republican Party did try to use Condeelezza Rice to kind of counteract the women effect, the feminism effect, if you will, of Hillary Clinton going forward. Now, with that being said, the reason I say that is because they already had candidates who won. You could have used Marco Rubio. You could have used, actually, you probably could have only used Marco Rubio. Not even joking. I think that would have been the only person who could have, and maybe Ted Cruz. Not that I like either of them, but I'm saying in regards to people who are interested in running, who wanted to run, that could have stood a chance because of the way that the Electoral College is set up, of winning. But I truly believe they brought Condeelezza Rice in to try to counteract the identity politic game on the other side. What is my ultimate verdict? Like I said, I think this is ultimately going to galvanize Trump. I think this is going to uplift his base. I think they're going to get out even more so now to vote, to make sure that Trump stays in office, that he finishes out his 8 years, and you may even hear calls to get rid of Pence. And guess what? There's a reason this was done in the back end. There's a reason. Of course, you know, it's politics, but all politics is done behind closed doors, it seems like. But this specifically didn't come out until now, and they, you know, talk about how everybody was anonymous, and they still don't even have a direct source for this. But there's a reason it was done on the back end, because of how popular Trump is. The same reason that they all wildly endorsed Trump after he won, or after he won the primary, because they need his popularity. There was a reason that all the impeachment by the Republican Party, because at first the Republican Party was talking about articles of impeachment, believe it or not. And now they're not either, because they need his popularity. So I think that this is just going to be another tool to galvanize his base. And if somebody like a Bernie Sanders or a Tulsi Gabbard, who could win over the military vote, somebody as if you know, like even Nina Turner, who could fare well in the South because of the way the demographics are set up there, and a couple of others. You know, if they don't run, then it looks like it's going to be another Donald Trump 2020. So I would love to know what you all think about that. Leave your comments below. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And ladies and gentlemen, always remember, find your balance.